My name is Joelle. I use she, they, he pronouns. I'm one of the co-presidents for Pinoy this year, and I'm a double major in biology and music, a program of study in Asian American Studies.
My name is Jacob Polito. I am Pinoy's current co-president alongside Joelle. I am graduating 4th year, so senior year, kind of nervous, but I'm graduating with a degree in biochemistry with a minor in cognitive science. So I think I've gotten a pretty science-based background.
Hello, my name is Lexi. I am the secretary for Pinoy this term. I am a 3rd year biology major. My pronouns are she, her, and yeah.
My name is Sydney. I'm Pinoy's co-creative director. I'm currently in my 2nd year of nursing school, and I'm really happy to be here with Pinoy.
Hello, I am Calvin Mandawi. I am Pinoy's treasurer. I am a 4th year accounting student. I am a Filipino Chinese American student here.
I'm Nicole Bacayo. I'm a 2nd year, technically undecided, but I'm gonna go into a business concentration. I'm the co-creative director along with Sydney on our e-board. That means we do like a bunch of like posters and promotional stuff for Poi, basically all the designs and stuff.
Hi, I'm Sarah Penna. I am this year's historian on Pinoy e-board. I am a 3rd year bio major, and I'm Filipino American.
I think I'm not a person who likes to show pride like in a very overt way. I used to always wear like my golden necklace with like the Philippine sun around it because I felt like I guess it made me feel a little bit more like valid or a little bit more Pinoy. But I think like recently like being able to embrace that without making it other people's business all the time is it keeps it like personal to me, and then you know, there's not that added stress of like, oh, but you're not so like outwardly like Filipino, like you're like a quieter person or whatever. But I think being able to like embrace my culture on my own as well, even though I'm not like, again, like the biggest like extrovert or whatever, like people like expect Filipinos to be. Like, I show my pride in like reading texts and learning about like my culture, engaging in it in ways that makes me feel comfortable. Usually introduce myself as wanting to go into marine biology because we're people of the sea. Like my mother, like I remember her telling me stories about like growing up on the beach and stuff. Even just like learning about like, different species that are like endemic in the Philippines is, I don't know, there's like pride in again that like intersection between like sciences and humanities.
As a kid in America, when you're surrounded by like a lot of like judgmental kids, you're kind of like shamed for being like different sometimes. So I think when I was younger, I tended to be a little more like embarrassed of the fact that I was Filipino. But growing up, I learned to like accept like that this is a part of my identity, and like being proud of who I am as a Filipino and like how I've grown as a person, like how I show my pride at being a part of Pinoy and like learning more about my culture through all these dances and like being surrounded by a whole group of Filipinos, I think is anchors of my Pinoyness, accepting your own culture and whatnot. The community. Filipinos are very happy people in general, so I think I'm just glad to be a part of that.
Pinoy pride, like literally the word Pinoy pride just reminds me of childhood. And I know that's not a definition of defining Pinoy pride, but growing up, I felt a lot of the time my parents feeling homesick. So I grew up in Connecticut, so it was really easy for us to go to New York often. And we would drive up there pretty often just because when I was younger, there wasn't as much Filipino resources in Connecticut. So we would go to New York often, and they have little Manila town over there, and a lot of the random Filipino like markets would be called like Phil-Am or Pinoy something, or something just like some abbreviated version of Pinoy something. So the word Pinoy pride to me, it just means being Filipino and, I don't know, being outwardly Filipino to the rest of the world, if that makes sense. Pinoy pride as wanting to embrace our culture. Growing up, my parents, like I said before, were pretty homesick often, so I grew up with a lot of cooking, which is why I have such a love for cooking now. Thank you to my parents. Cooking is such, I know any culture will say this, but I think it really is such a beautiful way to showcase a culture, because it really shows everything that that country went through. Or
like growing up in the Philippines, I was able to see and also kind of like experience like a Filipino's like beauty standard, and it's very like the ideal is a Western type of beauty, or like a westernized type of beauty, like pale skin, straight hair, I don't know, like tall nose. I was told to pinch my nose to make it taller when I was younger, because like it might suddenly have I might suddenly have like a taller nose bridge. So I used to struggle with my appearance when I was younger because of those beauty standards. Cause like I'm very tan, like my natural skin color is like more on like the tan side. So being told that I'm not as beautiful because my skin is darker was very disheartening. My skin color is something I had to learn to love about myself. And I really love my skin. I love being Filipino. I love telling people that I'm Filipino. I love sharing my culture. I love sharing different like sentences in our language. I think like I love sharing songs in Tagalog, like or by Filipino artists.
Actual pride in my Pinoyness is definitely through sharing stories and sharing my culture with others, especially with my family. Getting to share my story or my dances with my Lola and Lulu. Since freshman year, I would, without fail, every semester after every performance, I would go visit them and show them the video of our performances. Even when my Lulu passed away in 2023, I still made it a point to visit my Lola to show her the recordings. When I showed her the video of me dancing Magla Tik, the coconut dance, her face lit up because that's the dance that she always asked if I was going to do, because that's the one she remembered the most from my dad's year. This marks the first year that I won't be able to show them, because my Lola passed away this February, and I think being able to share our culture and her stories definitely brings me a sense of pride and joy with what I do, because it was a way for me to connect with her, and it's still a way for me to portray my pride.
For me, I've always been really proud to be Filipino. I think because I came from a very not so diverse school, I always felt that being Filipino always made me like kind of special. But as I've matured, I've realized that Pinoy pride is more than just being different. I love that at the heart of Filipino culture, I think is very familial, and that there's always when you find somebody that's Filipino, immediately I love the bond where it's just like, "Uy, kabayan!" It's so like meaningful to me, and I just think that being Filipino is just, it's fun. There's so much at the heart of our culture. There's always like, people are just always embracing each other. They're always looking out for one another. It's always very community based. We're at parties, you can see it. We're always here for a good time. We love to dance. We love to sing. We love to have fun, and we love to be there for one another. And I think that's what makes me really proud to be Filipino, because when they say those are the qualities of a Filipino, or that they're also the qualities that I am happy to practice or show to other people, that makes me really happy.
When I first got to UMass Boston, I was dragged to, I think, like the first core event of my freshman year by a girl named Lorraine. So shout out Lorraine if you're in the audience. I think finding, this community, finding Hoi in my undergraduate years has really strengthened my self-identity. They say, college is the years that you really come to grow to know who you are. And for me, is growing to know my Filipino American identity. I've really taken the time to contextualize, myself in the Filipino diaspora, in the sense that I constantly think about the Filipinos that came before me and where I stand with the Filipinos that will come later. Filipino culture is beautiful, and my goal is to be able to share that with others. Once again, I want to thank everyone in the audience. I thank everyone who came to LVM, performers, everyone. And I really hope that you took away something beautiful tonight.